Because right.
I mean, it would never have worked for Nexus Point because, like, no chance in hell of getting all those people on the same thing.
Could you imagine having to try and get all the cast of Nexus Point onto a Zen? It would not. You would have with like the Zen stuff with R101, because obviously there was a cast of like 17 for R101. We did have to split it into 2 sit-ins.
I can imagine.
But Nexus Point could have been an interesting scenario.
I mean, if I were to, I'm actually signed into Nexus Point. Okay. Sorry, just give me 2 seconds. So, listed cast members, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24 cast members.
Damn.
24 cast members.
17's, I think, been my biggest.
Anyway,
right.
Sorry, future Abby.
No, this is a thing though. I very rarely edit these. So those of you who have joined, if you feel like you've joined mid-conversation, you basically did join mid-conversation. So welcome to TT Conversations. And this week I have Jed. Hello, Jed.
Yeah. Hello.
So
hello,
we were
talking.
We were talking about the benefits of Zencast. Now, Zen is what we at TT use to record even more than that, 98% of our audios get done through Zen. So it's live recording.
And it's free.
It's just a really good system. Like, the way it works is nice. Occasionally when you have people talking over the top of people or doing like background noise, sometimes it bubbles,
interrupting people a bit,
yeah.
But like, the thing is, in the nicest possible way, like, it just
it's so much easier to edit.
It really is. Like I got like a full 10-minute audio play with like me, George, and Aiden, like edited, like recorded in a night and edited basically in a morning, and it's like, wow.
And you're not having to chase people up for lines, because that's what you spend, which is what you end up spending most of your time doing. It's like reminding people to do lines.
Well, it's sort of half and half. It's like reminding people to do lines, and then for me with Nexus Point, some of it, like, I was doing a little bit of editing on my lunch break today, and like some of it is not just that, but like, oh shit, this person actually missed this line. Oh shit, this person actually missed that line and stuff. And it's like, people miss lines, and it's been months. I can't just go back and ask them for more.
You recorded this like 4 months ago. Could you like redo it?
I know. Or like, oh shit, that person's accidentally missed out half their lines. And it's like, please don't do this to me. Like, the amount of times that I've had to like cut around the fact that people have missed, sometimes whole scenes have been missed out. Oh no. Like sometimes I've edited things, not Nexus Point, thank Christ, but other things where just whole scenes were forgotten about or did not get done by that person. So I've had to cut around
the whole
basically.
scene.
Yeah, no, it's like, but no, like with Zencastr, like, it has its own challenges. I'm presuming the main one being getting all these fuckers in one place at one time. But I can't imagine, like, if the headache is in the getting them together, not necessarily in the recording them, then that's okay.
It's not too bad my end, because I don't do anything any evenings. So if they can't make like the big group, like Tusks 2, we're doing Tusks 2 recording on the 12th of November. Now there's a new girl called Catherine who's playing a lovely young lady called Mabel, but she can't make the 12th. But it's not the end of the world, because me and her are going to get on the Zen and just do it with the two of us. She'll still get the interaction, not necessarily with the right people, but at least with a person.
And the thing is, like, I mean, if it's a minor role, I can see that it's not so much of a problem to jigsaw it a little bit, especially since, and this is one of the real advantages of it, it's not creating one track with everyone recording on one track. It's creating like 7 or 8 tracks that are all synced up. They all started recording at the same time, so that is ridiculously easy to edit. But it's not like it's like, depending on how the sound setup is. So obviously I couldn't like, I have to have microphone and headphones and stuff all plugged in, otherwise it doesn't work. But it does. It works surprisingly well. Don't mind us. We're just, you know, pitching you people on the internet. We're pitching Zencastr.
Don't too many use it. No, this is the thing. I generally reckon like everybody's going to start catching on. Oh, I'm waiting for an email to say they're going to start charging us. I'm waiting. Purely because all the other podcasting systems that we've tried all do it on one track. Whereas Zencastr has that bonus of separate tracks. So then if you want somebody to be at a distance, you can set their whole track to at a distance, or, you know, it's so much easier.
Yeah, and like, you know, instead of having to chop it up anyway, because, you know, some people you'll need to, like on Premiere Pro when I'm editing, some people will need bass boosting, some people will need treble boosting, some people are working with different mic qualities, so you have to like fuck around with like hums and S's and shit like that. You know, I am allowed to swear, right? Sorry, people of the internet.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I mean, to be fair, like I was about to say I swear like a sailor. Abby was actually a sailor, so, you know, I probably don't swear like a sailor. So
Abby swears like a sailor.
Yes, Abby has the actual real life experience of swearing and sailing. Swearing like a sailor. Sailing. Oh no! Well, like, can you really call it sailing? Were you ever on a sailboat? I mean, no, what would you call that though? If not sailing, like boating?
Well, it's not a boat because a boat's technically a submarine.
Oh, okay. So you're not even a.
So it's a ship. Shipping. It's just Jazz and 13.
I mean, to be fair, you have experience of shipping too.
Well, just, this is true.
All the different kinds of shipping. Shipping and shipping.
And shipping.
No, shipping on a ship. Shipping ships. Ah! Oh god, don't mind me. I'm hyper. I've just had coffee.
Oh,
oh god.
Lord.
But at some point, does this thing have to be structured, or can it be?
Oh
no,
like they're never structured. I literally just get people in to have a chin wag, but
well, I have a chin, so you know that's helpful.
You can wag it. Let's try and think. So I tried to do it so like I talk about what they've done within TT, and then we kind of like span out of control from there. So obviously, like TT wise, the first thing you did was the music for Scarlet.
Yep. Yeah. So, you know, people probably know this by now. I'm a bit of a music person.
Really?
Really? Okay. So, fun fact for any of you YouTube heads out there who happen to go on YouTube and have to deal with the hilarious ads and the terribly broken copyright system. 714 videos on my channel. 714.
Damn.
Yeah, the vast majority of which is original music for one fan thing or another. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of music that I did for Scarlet Lust, which was yeah, so it's interesting. You get asked to do something that's like completely out of your comfort zone. Because to be clear, I've never fucking done like horror
vampires and shit.
horror vampires and shit. Like, I've never done that before.
Bridgerton vampires, as Chelsea calls it.
Yeah, so it's like it's not just vampires, it's period vampires. It's vampires of a particular era.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, what's it? Penny Dreadful. So
yeah,
Victoriana.
Penny Dreadful, yeah, early Victorian.
So I completely fucked that, of course, because, you know, like you know, to the discerning music user, the fact that I'm doing Victoriana and it's full of synth is like,
we love a bit of synth though.
I mean, synth is great, but like I just thought to myself, okay, I'm never gonna make garage bands sound like an orchestra or sound like, you know, like real instruments. So fuck it, I'm just gonna pick the weirdest. So I got like,
works though. It works so well.
Well, so the big things for me in that were, so the 3 big components of that soundtrack basically are the heartbeat motif, which is just the bassiest synth drum I could find, going pop, 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 because heartbeat motifs and vampires, motherfuckers.
You're right.
Which, you know, is basic as fuck, but like, you know, when you're doing something like this, you want to evoke something without necessarily having to reinvent the wheel. So, like, you know, in the nicest possible way. Like, you know, sometimes you reinvent the wheel, and sometimes just like, fuck it, this bitch can roll, damn it. And then the bits that are slightly more sort of like instrumentation heavy. You've got basically that combination of the piano, which is like an amplified piano sound, which is just like, you know, it's echoey, it's got a bit of that weird quality to it, like weird synthy vibes, vampires and shit. And then I got like the scariest. So it's a bunch of, I don't think
it's a bit like
same...
Psycho. There's like the Psycho kind of vibe, because you got like that kind of
Yeah, but that was like I think it was a handful of different synth choir voices. So there's the element of it which is like choir, which is like, you know, female voices going all but it's also a bit synthy and a bit like there's a metallic edge to it. It's unnatural, which, you know, because we're doing fucking vampires, unnatural kind of works.
It does work.
It kind of, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's as I say, not exactly reinventing the wheel, but you know, because the thing is, like, when you're doing commission work, even when it's unpaid, and sometimes especially when it's unpaid, because you want people to pass on your reputation, you're basically doing it for the exposure. To look at it from the cynical edge, you've got to sort of balance out, okay, I've got to make this really good because, you know, I don't want to put shoddy work out there. But you've also got to balance that against people want this delivered within a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could have done something probably twice as technically proficient and technically complex for Scarlet Lust than I did.
And then there's Abby like, where's my fucking music, bitch?
Well, no, because realistically, what happens is one of two things. Either people get sick of waiting for you and they just go with someone else, or people are nagging you about it, and you get that point of, you know, hey, have you done this? And you have to be like,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I prefer that to not being fucking told.
True.
You know, I've had people ghost. I think I've told you this story, haven't I? I've had people ghost me before and not use any of the like tracks that I've been working on and stuff. For which, fuck those people. Not really fuck those people. Not like angry fuck those people. It's just like, you know, that's not good practice.
No.
Especially when it is a case of doing it for the exposure, because like the flip side of doing it for the exposure, if that's how we're gonna turn a phrase it, is, okay, what's the best way of putting it? When you're doing it for the exposure, you want to make it good so that, you know, you get the exposure so that people can point to that and go, hey, that guy's really good, let's get him. You know, but you put your effort into it for those reasons, and you want to deliver the product well and speedily. Okay. Yeah. But if you're getting someone to do it for the exposure, the flip side of that is don't fucking ghost them, because you haven't paid for their time. They're doing it basically. They're doing it basically out of the kindness of their fucking heart. You know, and which is not to say I don't love what I do, but I love what I do, which is why I do it.
Yeah.
But I am not doing it for money at the moment. So, you know, none of us are doing it for money at the moment, because
in all fairness,
all fucking poor.
Literally, it's the thing, though, isn't it?
And the thing is, I'm actually kind of bad for, like, I forget to tell people things when I'm working on things. Like, I'm occasionally I feel really bad because it's like, oh, it's been ages since I've updated so and so on this or updated so and so about that. And it's basically because real life is a bitch. So, you know, and the thing is, you know, I'm understanding about that. I like to hope other people are understanding about that. If I'm missing anything out, if people watching this, like, you know, if I owe people anything, like, you know, if people want to know what the fuck's going on with things, I'm really socially awkward. Please ask. So I
please chase me up.
Yeah. Just, you know, I'll happily be chased up. You know, people, if I've like forgotten to do things. But the problem is, I am ridiculously socially awkward. So I'm sorry, I'm tangenting.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So yeah, now to go back to Scarlet Lust though. So like, I delivered that fairly speedily. I should think, fairly speedily and to the quality required, basically by the production company, which is all you ask really when you're doing this stuff, is that the person that you're doing it for likes what you're doing, which is fair. And it was really fun. It was really good to sort of push myself beyond doing what I usually do, which is either high fantasy, like stuff for the video games that I do, or like sci-fi. I do a lot of sci-fi. Like my default. I mean, currently my default is fucking like synthesizers.
I do love the fact that like the two lots of music that I've got you to do are completely not your genre.
I mean, the thing is, like,
I like to push my actors. Apparently, I like to push my composers as well, by the sounds of it.
That's good because, like, I mean, to be fair, what are the two bits of music that I've actually done for you? So I did
Scarlet
a little
and
bit.
Molly.
Scarlet and Molly. I did a bit of shit. Me, I did do music for Molly. And it's weird. I kind of, because what happened for Molly was, as I recall, you were basically like, "Do you want to compose this?" I was basically like, "I'm happy to do it for you, but it's not my genre. I probably won't do a very good job at it." You were like, "Okay, I'll go get somebody else." And then I just did music for it anyway and sent it to you, as far as I recall. So, because obviously you had Alia did some of it for you.
Yeah, Alia did the opening credit music.
Yeah, and she's a really good composer. Like it's something that woman can't do.
I know.
But so proper good composer, proper good like bit of work there. But I just did bits because I was like, okay, I'll do bits because I feel like doing bits.
Molly was very much a combination of Alia, you, and a little bit of epidemic music. That was basically Molly.
Yeah,
it was quite a bit of a jumble.
But what was I saying? So yeah, no, but like currently, so the craziest thing that I've done recently, was, and I'm going to forward you this. So obviously you don't have to listen to it right this second because it's 10 fucking minutes long. It's the action theme for Aiden's Doctor that he's doing for Instability Productions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's 10 minutes long, and it's the initial inspiration for it was Rick's Crybaby backstory from Rick and Morty. That's what it's called basically. It's the Rick's Crybaby backstory theme, which is this really weird, eerie synthesizer piece, which goes into a bit of like arpeggiator later on. And then I kind of went mad and threw a bit of Battle for Blood Ridge in there as well because I'm just obsessed with that track. So now that track is just basically, hello, here's a fucking synthesizer epic, fuck you. Because synthesizers are cool, yo, and because I clearly, one day I just have to write something with ridiculous amounts of like synthesizer arpeggiators in it.
We need to just do like a Fifth Doctor audio, just loads of synth.
No, what we need, clearly what we need is a Terminator fan audio.
Oh Lord. No, back to with Scarlet Lost. I've reshared it recently. It's still from our POV, it was a bit of a flop, but I'm hoping to reshare it again for Halloween, and then people actually.
As you should. It's a weird one though because. Okay, so the thing is, like, what's the nicest way of putting it? Original content never seems to do well for anyone.
You say that Molly's not done too bad, and I honestly thought that Scarlet would do better than Molly, and it didn't. Yeah, so apparently people who listen to our channel prefer pregnant Irish Chelsea to horny vampire Chelsea.
Horny vampire Chelsea?
Pregnant Irish Chelsea. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, fuck it. Yeet both of that. Starship Trooper Chelsea. I'll write you a Starship Trooper. I mean, to be fair, fuck it.
We got Luna.
We've got Luna. Oh my god, we do in fact have Starship Trooper Chelsea. Yes. Fucking yes. That's
it's like I feel like we've got the 3 Chelseas now. It's just like a collection.
The 3 Chelseas. Okay, which one's going in a triangle? Which one of them's going in a triangle to sort of complain from a TV screen? Probably Molly, because let's face it, Molly's pregnant. That's the defining factor. Like fuck it up in a triangle.
Yeah, definitely. So like, writing wise, because obviously we've
Writing-wise.
spoken about briefly about the musicy stuff, and since we're talking about Luna now, Luna.
I mean, Luna's a cheat. Luna is a cheat because I wrote it 10 years ago. I was gonna do it at university because my university had full-on radio suites with BBC radio equipment, so it was fucking legit. Yeah, and then I just sort of never did. It never materialized because, like, in the nicest possible way, the guy who did it, the guy who wanted me to write it, he says basically like write a thing. So I was like, okay, I'll write a thing.
Here's the thing I wrote.
Here's the thing I wrote. And he was like, cool, I'll go out and cast it. And then he sort of cast a couple of roles with some really good actors, to be fair. In university, I was very lucky. There were a lot of really good actors. So he sort of cast a couple of people. Like there were 3 people cast. And then we never actually did any recording. It just never sort of happened.
It fizzled away.
It kind of did. Yeah, no, it was kind of bad. But yeah, so it's sort of been sitting in my hard drives on Celtex or whatever. Oh, I hate Celtex. I'm not happy with Celtex.
No, I know.
I mean,
I've completely abandoned Celtex now.
I mean, it's why I write everything on Google Docs.
Google Docs.
It's bad, but the formatting works fine. And
yeah,
it does the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it had been sort of sitting on my hard drive on Celtex for like ages, and then I was just like to you, I was just like, basically, fuck it. Here's a 10-year-old audio play. You're doing originals. Do you want a 10-year-old audio play? And you were like, yeah. So fair play. And Luna's an interesting one. It's very close to my heart. I wrote it at it was a fairly decent time in my life actually, and I had a lot of fun writing it. And yeah, and then I heard it actually being recorded and shit, and that was really kind of scary and fun all at once, and it was really, really cool. And I was honestly ridiculously kind of happy to hear it being recorded. And it's going to be interesting to play out the second set of recordings is that January now?
Yeah, January, February. Yeah. So we've done episodes. We recorded episodes 1 and 2. It's Chambers editing those, so I haven't got a Scooby when those are going to come out. They're all in his hands.
And I got sent one of the guys lines, so I'm gonna have to send that to him.
You need to send it to Matt. Yeah.
I need to send that to him.
But yeah, so 1 and 2 are done. Obviously me and Chelsea are the leads. That's original, isn't it?
Yeah, but that was just kind of like an accident of circumstances.
It was an accident, but for some strange reason, me and Chelsea Aidan referred to us as the dynamic duo at the moment.
I mean, it works.
It does work.
And the thing is, like, in the nicest possible way, and this is going to sound, sorry if this sounds really sexist, but Commander Carter as a guy is kind of bland.
Yeah.
Captain Carter as a woman is kind of, oh, okay, we've seen that less. And I try not to have biases when I write characters. I don't write gender in mind.
No, yeah.
Which probably explains why all my characters are the fucking same. But I think.
But you've accidentally created lesbians in space now, so.
Lesbians in space, yes. Sapphic space.
I'll say this though, because I know Aidan refers to me and Chelsea as like the dynamic duo, but the only real stuff that we do together are Jenny and Molly. And there's no. Molly is not interested in Jenny in that way, and obviously Jenny's too in love with a fucking lizard woman from the draw all the time. So it's quite nice to have to do something a little bit different with Chelsea, because I've never really had to do that side of acting with Chelsea before, so that's quite nice.
It should be interesting. It should be interesting, and obviously those characters are going to continue to exist, hopefully, provided that people actually like Luna, which they'd fucking better do, because that's a damn brilliant title sequence.
No, they should do. Yeah, it's fun to do, and there's so much more. But like I said, I don't know. I have a habit, like, we have 5 editors, and I don't, with the editing, I'm literally like, when it's done, it's done. I'm not one of these people that's like, we need to have this out by this date. This is the schedule. Literally, the only one I've been like that with is R101, because I want it out around about the anniversary. But I'm editing that anyway. So
when is the anniversary?
5th of October.
Fair,
So it's out on
fair,
the 8th.
fair.
Because
So
because we
how are
because we
you?
have allocated days, so it has to come
Of
out on one of
course.
my days.
You're not getting me to do the music for that, are you? You're getting someone else for that.
No, it's done already.
Ah, cool. Who'd you get?
Okay. Epidemic Music.
Ah, fair, fair. Have you worked with Anthony Tremaine yet?
Yeah, he's done the music for Venus.
He's really good.
Yeah, Venus Flint episode 2. He done the music for that. Obviously that's Foxhole, not us, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, in a certain respect, it could be you guys because you do the same sort of general era.
It's
Actually,
Paternoster.
fucking what though? It would be hilarious. Like, obviously, this would not happen because, you know, schedules, timing, bullshit like that. It would be fucking hilarious if your Paternoster continuity and their Paternoster
Oh
continuity.
my god, it would collide.
No. Just imagine though, like
Alternate
fucking.
universes, like
It's the No Way Home of Paternoster gangs. And there'd be two Jennies, and neither of them would be Toby Maguire.
oh my god, no.
Oh God, Toby Maguire, Jenny. Oh, we need that now. I'm sorry, we do.
Toby Maguire, Jenny. Oh my.
That would be terrifying.
It
And
really would.
hilarious. And hilarious at the same time. But yeah, no. Funnily enough, I did the music for Luna years ago. I did that concept. The concept track that became the main theme is like about.
I'm not bigging myself up, but I absolutely love the music and the graphics. Just I feel like that's together. That's our like winning combination. I feel it's that opening credit.
Oh yeah, and oh god, but it is like it's kind of scary, you know, knowing that that's 10 years old and it's finally happening.
I reckon it will be out beginning of the next year. I reckon.
I mean, I would say a good sort of time to get it out would be like February, Marchish.
Yeah, I say it all depends when Chambers, because this is the thing, because I tend to edit stuff really quickly, but this is essentially my job. My job is I'm a carer for my autistic child, but essentially this is my job, so I have the time to sit down and do. I mean, R101 was done in 3 days, whereas obviously Chambers has got a full-on job and he comes home and he's absolutely cream crackered and yada 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 yada. So obviously stuff's going to take longer for him. Plus he's our cover artist. Plus he's a writer, so it's like trying to juggle.
Man is ridiculously well talented.
He is, but I just always feel really guilty because it's the same concept as you. I'll be like, Jed, where's my music? And I'll be like, Chambers, can I have a cover, please? Like, I need a cover, because I do cover art as well. But you can tell when Chambers has done it and when I've done it. Like we've both got 2 completely different art styles.
Which is fair.
Yeah, like I did the cover for Tusks, so I'll do all the covers for Tusks. I done the thumbnail for Scarlet.
Has Dan Patton done any for you?
Yes, he done Jenny and 11.
Yeah, because he's really good.
Yeah, all our Jenny and 11 covers are Dan.
Which is a good series, to be fair.
That was so much fun, because most of it, just at the time when we were recording it, Jack lived around the corner from me, so he used to just come round here. We used to both stand in my recording booth and record together. And it's just it works so well. I think that's why me and Jack for Jenny and 11, I don't. It'd be really weird to work with another 11, because me and Jack have kind of got the Jenny Crimson Horror kind of camaraderie going on, you know.
That's fair. I mean, do you have to work?
As much as I'd like. Well, this is the thing. As much I would like to give other 11s the opportunity to be 11 in TT. I don't want it always to be Jack.
Yeah, but it's like.
But Jack's 11 is bloody good. I'm sorry. Everybody always bigs up his 10, but I think his 11 is so much better.
I mean, I've heard his 10, like in Rasshorn Productions, his 10 is quite good. You know, but I don't know. I think it's good to have that sort of vocal range, I guess. I mean, yeah, no, I think sort of the flip side to giving other 11s a chance is, I guess, consistency. it's like, you want to have the same Vastra if at all possible, because
we will always have the same Vastra. We will always have this. It'll always be me, Alia, and Matt. That'll always be the Pack Gang. So I think the thing with Jack is he's got a job in the West End now. So trying to record live is near on impossible.
No, I imagine it would be, to be fair, because I mean, like,
which is the only real reason why I would have to get another 11 in. It's purely because, so obviously the next 11th Doctor audio we have is one called War on the Moon. Which is where Strax actually does declare war on the moon, and then 11 comes and gets us all, and we all have to go up there and fight these things called Moonites.
Yes, Moonites.
That's Moonites.
Moonite. I'm sorry. Moonite. People from the moon. Why not Moonians?
No, Moonites. Moonites. It's an actual Strax line. There's a.
I know. I think I recall that. To be
fair. Because it's one of those like in between scenes they did at the time, and it was them lot trying to coax 11 back into doing stuff, and Strax is like, "I've declared war on the moon." And he's like, "There's nobody on the moon." And he's like, "Yes, there are Moonites," and that's where this audio spanned from.
I fucking love it if he actually had done that as well. He wasn't trying to coax the 11th Doctor. He couldn't give a shit. He actually
that's our canon. That's our canon. He did actually declare war on the moon. So, yeah, that's our next 11th Doctor audios. But whether we have Jack Reeves in it or not, I don't know at the moment currently.
Depends. So for you guys, it does depend, doesn't it, on how integral that role is. Because you have some people who can't Zencaster. They just send their lines in later. But you don't ever do that with like main characters. That's one of the reasons why Chelsea had to step in for Carter. Because you couldn't risk having a main character be that way.
No.
So is he integral? Is he an integral
Yeah,
part
he will
of that?
be. Yeah, it'll be more of a Doctor story than a Paternoster Gang story. So
I mean, you could always hit up Jacob Dudman. He left being the 11th Doctor for Big Finish.
Yeah, because I saw Jack posted about it and he was like, "My time has come." It's like...
Time has come. Execute order 60. No, I'm not going to finish that joke.
We'll see.
Yeah. Also, it should be interesting regardless, because it's always fun.
That'd be nice to do music for. I might get you to do the music for that one actually.
I have always loved the 11th Doctor's theme. I've been able to play that one for 10 years. The 11th Doctor's. No, I can do the whole thing.
Yeah,
I can do the entire thing. It's kind of scary. Actually, how good I am at that.
be like Jed. I need music that suits the moon. That's lots of synth.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my hoodie on and be like, I am a Dark Lord of the Synth. Boom. Oh God. Yeah. God. So yeah. What was I thinking?
Voice. So voice.
So I did some stuff for you. Let's think.
You were Ben.
It was Ben Molly. And okay, can I tell you my headcanon for him?
You tell me your headcanon, I'll tell you my headcanon. Go on.
He's gay. He's gay as fucking sin. Like he is the gayest Victorian era Irishman that has ever Victorian era Irished his gayness anywhere. He was marrying, as far as he was concerned, he was marrying Molly because everybody told him he was supposed to do
basically,
that. Because the thing is, I figure he doesn't realize he's gay because, he's way too fucking repressed. I played him as chronically repressed.
Yeah.
But he is like the biggest gay boy ever of that time period. And but it's weird because he just when I was reading him, it's just like this guy isn't doing this because he finds her sexually attractive. This guy is not doing this because
he's literally doing it because he's been told to. Yeah,
he's been told to, and he thinks he ought to. When I was doing that "give us a kiss" line, I was playing it as this is something he expects he has to do. This is something he thinks, I ought to try this. If he'd actually done it, he would have been like,
woman,
for male, no. So if anything, I think he probably would have been happier going off with Brandon's character.
Probably.
if he thought long and hard about it.
Caho, hi.
Yeah, but that's my head canon.
No, yeah, I completely get that. Lord, yeah.
So
Definitely.
what's your head canon?
Oh, so even if he is gay, he ends up getting with Bree. But he doesn't. He only gets with Bree because everybody suggests he gets with Bree. It's one of those. Oh, that failed. So you'll get with Ali Tori playing a 15-year-old instead.
Which is kind of ironic, really.
Oh my god, yeah.
No, it's kind of ironic because
fucking Luna.
Should I say? Oh fuck it! You know what? It's my story. I can spoil a shit if I want to. One of the whole big things in Luna is that my character, Mr. Zed, and Alia's character, Annabelle, like there's a whole twisted parallel universe love story thing going on. And the thing is, Abby doesn't even know half of it. No. So here's a scary thing for you. The whole reason that Mr. Zed exists in the form he does is because he left to kill the main bad guy of Luna. He intended on killing that guy, right? So that's why he became a multiversal traveler. So he's from a universe where he went in a multiverse portal and did that. There's also there's Ms. M, who is Annabelle Meadows from another universe, who went in the portal instead. So there's two of them. There's two of them from different parallel universes. And her entire shtick was to go into this parallel universe portal, in his stead to try and stop him from doing that. So she ended up being from a parallel universe from in the same group of multiversal travelers. And there's a whole fucking story that's just like, what the fuck?
Actually, when you hand Alia that script, she's going to be like, what?
The scary thing is she's also playing a cat.
Yes, well.
yeah. You do give her the craziest roles.
Well, yeah, she's my wife. I can do what I want.
Yeah, I mean, she makes you pose for art. You make her do crazy roles. It's it is what it is.
No, I love Alia. I love her. She's just been given a lead role in Match Girls, actually. So
nice.
Yeah,
as it should be. As it should be.
As it should be.
Yeah.
She's not just here for Vastra.
Not just here for Vastra.
Not just here for Vastra.
The fact that she does a damn good Vastra,
Oh my lord, tell me about it. Like,
yeah.
We've got ages until we do another Pat Gang, though. This is the thing, because everything's had to be shuffled around. Our Pat Gang stuff doesn't start up again until January, February. Sad face.
Yeah, but that's because you've got a billion other things to do. Like for realsies, that's crazy. Like I've got a lot to do. But see, for me, the problem is, okay, what's the best way of explaining this? I do all of it myself.
Yeah, see, this is the thing, because there's like a team of us. Like, don't get me wrong, like a lot of the stuff going out at the moment is my stuff.
But you've got a team of people working on all sorts of stuff.
But yeah, because obviously I've got like Chambers doing Luna for us.
James York does his Queer Doctor stuff.
James is doing, and he's just started doing that again now, so that's going to be coming out beginning of next year, I believe. So
which I'm really looking forward to, because he's really good.
And then Future Doctor is currently having episodes coming out. But
that's Matt Barrett, isn't it?
That is Matt Barrett, yeah.
So Matt Barrett is the Future Doctor.
He's
You're the Dickensian Doctor.
Yeah.
Alia's got a doctor.
Yeah.
James York's a doctor.
Yeah.
So there's a fair few doctors there.
But the thing is as well, every single one of us has a different routine as to how we record it, because the Future Doctor stuff, it's very old school how it's done.
Is it jigsawed?
Well, no. It's still recorded live. It's more the fact that it's all like 4-part episodes. So it's like one episode, but in 4 parts.
Oh, so it's classic Doctor.
So it's classic. It's classic. The way Ian Harris is the writer for the Future series. But yeah, he does that in 4 parts for 1 episode. So what they'll do is they'll get together and they'll do those 4 parts, and then slowly those 4
Release it.
parts will come out, and then they'll go and do the next episode, and then that will slowly come out. Whereas Queer, Jim records everything, edits everything, and then it all comes out one after the other weekly. Yeah, that's how he does it.
See, funnily enough, that's how I did my last fan film series. So the Nth Doctor series 1, I'd filmed and edited everything before I set final release dates, because I wanted to be like absolutely fucking on the ball with that.
Yeah.
Frankly, I wanted to do that for the Nexus Point, and I almost succeeded. Like this last episode, there was a couple of lines that were missing, so I was waiting on those, and then work was shit. So, so episode 5 was late out, but it came out in the month I wanted it to come out. So I'll fucking take that. I'll fucking take that. And you know what? Listening back to it, I hadn't realized until I was editing it how fucking long that opening scene where the walls are coming in actually was. But when I actually had finished it with the music and everything, I was actually proud of how well the pace sustained itself.
I have to admit that last episode was I really like that one.
I mean, I was ridiculously like I'm proud of everybody who's helped sort of bring that together. Like I genuinely, it's one of the reasons I want people to come back.
Well,
you know, it's
Mary has a soft spot in my heart because that was the first role I ever got ever. That was the first. Yeah, that was my first audio role. Yeah.
Fuck off!
I hadn't done anything prior to that. That was my first audition, my first role, and that was basically how this all kicked off, was because of Mary.
You realise you're the second person who's told me that, because Toby Beck, who's one of the sort of bit part doctors in Nexus Point, the entire reason he's doing a Star Trek fan series is because he did Nexus Point.
Yeah,
that's really made my evening now. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, that was my first ever role.
I'm really happy that I've asked you to write a Mary story now.
I say she's got a soft spot in my heart, and I'm well excited to write that story. It's right at the back of my fucking list at the moment. But
I mean, I'm really looking forward to that, because, like, for me, that character, there's a lot of like really interesting stuff you could do with that character. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that you could do with. I mean, bluntly, there's a lot of really interesting stuff that you could do with her with either of the doctors that she ended up being with. I think Peanut's doctor. The thing with what we call the mind games doctor is because he's like Sylvester McCoy's darker manipulative side on fucking acid.
True.
Like he's like proper holy fuck, dude. Like no, for real. You listen to the end of episode. No fucking spoilers, but you listen to the end of episode 5. Dude is PTSD.
Yeah.
Dude is like the fuck.
Which, in all fairness, that kind of works with Mary. It's
like you know, this is why this is the only thing, like, you can do whatever the fuck you want with that story, but I absolutely insist on her verbally ripping the shit out of White Feather Camp. Like, did I ever tell you? So my friend Matt, who created the mind game stuff, he let me write Nexus Point, but he helped create that concept. He had a lecturer, some American woman who was lecturing at the university, and he wrote an essay about the White Feather campaign, and then she turned around and said, "Oh, why didn't you write about any of the good things they did?" I'm fucking sorry. You're talking about the upper class women wandering around handing out white feathers to teenage boys and shaming them into going and dying in a pointless war filled with mustard gas and all the worst atrocities fucking committed on a battlefield ever recorded by human history. That White Feather campaign. That White Feather. I'm fucking sorry. Like the most anti-feminist thing ever. Like, I'm fucking what?
Yeah.
No, and hilariously, she was a really like proper American feminist, like feminist, like proper American style feminist.
No, like,
you know, and she was coming to Britain to tell a British person who, you know, if we had been alive in that time period, he and I would have been white feathered by some fucker, you know. And she has the fucking audacity to come here and say, Why didn't you write about any of the kids? What
Oh,
fucking
hands
good?
down, I say it will definitely.
Like you were in the fucking forces. You
Yeah.
were in the fucking forces. You tell me. Somebody came up to you after you'd served the tour and handed you a white feather and said, "Why aren't you off dying for your country?" You'd fucking punch them. I'm surprised.
I would punch them. Yeah.
I'm surprised more of the. You know what? Fuck it. Write Mary punching one. I insist on
I could do
nothing.
that.
I insist on nothing.
Nothing in the script, but you need to. Okay, she can do that.
Yeah, I don't give a crap what the story is. Do what you want. I will make it happen. I just want her
Make her
to yell at
slap
one
someone.
and punch. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it can
because
happen.
we need it.
I could do that.
Oh,
It's my muse. Come on, it's historical. Like
exactly. Like this is it though. Is I knew when I wanted more stories with these doctors because I want more stories with all of these doctors. Like Peanut wrote one for Katie Haynes' Challenge Doctor and Blueford, which is, I shit you not, like I love that pairing. Like it's weird because when I was casting it, the companions were almost secondary roles. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna cast people as the Doctor, and then when people audition for the companions, I'll create a companion character around who I get.
yeah.
And then you get Roy Ivey come in. And you need to work with him. He's really good. I don't know if you'd ever get him on a recording thing, but he's very good. Like he does Star Trek things as well, like Star Trek fan films he's done. He's very good in that. He's very good in those. But Roy Ivey as like Blueford just brings this long sufferingness to it, where it's just like oh god, like the best line hands down that I've ever fucking written for any companion ever is I think it is him saying to the Doctor. Because the Doctor's like, I am a bastion of common sense. And he's like, you're a bouncy castle of common sense at best. And it's like,
yes.
And the thing is that dynamic of, because when I cast Katie to play the Challenge Doctor, she plays it with a variant on her 13 voice, which isn't quite as Yorkshire. But the character is completely different because the whole point of her is she's rash to the point of insanity. She does things like when the fucking walls are closing in, she'll yell up at the ceiling, try fucking harder, bitches, and there's a rashness and an arrogance to it that I think is really exciting to hear from her playing the Doctor. And that's sort of tempered by Blueford, who I always imagine, because his full name is Richard Blueford II. He is no, he's like a proper, like, he's like the American equivalent of some, old boy who I sort of imagine wandering around dressed like, one of these old boys, sort of like, yeah, I'm sort of here. I fucking love the idea of him just sort of being like, no, don't do that. No,
please don't.
Please stop. No, stop. No. Why are you walking towards the fucking alien that wants to kill us? Why?
This is the thing with our doctors on TT, because obviously Queer has TJ and Erin at the moment. There's more to come, but I'm not going to spoil it.
You're gonna die.
And Future has, I can never remember her bloody name. Tin Peters plays her. Nevaeh, who was a Trakenite, which I flipping love. She's from Traken, and I adore that. I got to play her mother. That was an interesting thing to be doing. I was the keeper of Traken, people. Yay.
So is this like in Traken's deep past?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be tragic, though. Please, yeah. I haven't had a chance to listen to any of that stuff yet. Please fucking tell me that they reference the fact that, oh shit, she's from Traken. Oh shit, better not tell them that the Master blew up all of the fucking universe. Yay.
It's like Ian actually spoke to the dude who wrote the Fifth Doctor in Nissa audio, Big Finish, but it's set before Traken blew up. Is it Primeval?
I don't think so. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But so he talked to that guy.
He spoke to the writer to like be like, oh, this is, and then he listened to it as well. So we're like, we're slowly like John Coleshaw, Simon Fisher Becker. I was going to reel them all in.
I mean, the thing is, I think genuinely, sorry, TT does have this sort of thing where it's kind of like how Big Finish started in a way.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the modern version of how Big Finish started,
Yeah.
and that's, you know, I swear to fucking God, you need to incorporate TT as an actual company at some point, like a limited company.
Honestly, I'd love to. The only thing that stops us really is the Who stuff.
Why?
Because we'd have to pay for a license.
Right.
Like the original content,
You
we
could
could
just do it.
sell. We could make it. We could make it a company. We could sell it, but without having to go to the BBC and get a license, like R101 and Molly, like and Shutter and all that, we could charge for that. We're not
Yeah.
going to because, you know. But no, I was on about companions with doctors. My doctor doesn't have a companion.
Yet.
No, she's
Or
not having
ever.
one.
Ever.
So my doctor is only going to be around for 7 or 8 episodes. I'm basically being Christopher Eccleston, but for the TT verse.
Okay.
But she never actually has a fixed companion, which is nice because it means that I get a different person to interact with every single story. I'm basically David Tennant, but like in that kind of era, like when he had nobody with him.
Okay. So is that like are they like consecutive episodes in terms of her lifespan? So she's a very short-lived doctor.
She's a very short-lived doctor. She's a fucking idiot, so it's no wonder, to be fair. I promoted her as Beaker meets Miranda Hart.
Okay.
So she's just an idiot.
I'm sorry. Beaker as in Beaker
Muppets,
the Muppet.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But because I'm not a comedy person.
Yeah.
I can't write comedy. I very rarely act comedy, but I try to push all my actors. So basically, me trying to push myself is saying, everybody else write my doctor like Miranda Hart. And then that's me challenging myself to do some doctory shit, you know? Because I wasn't going to do it. But then I put it on Twitter and everybody was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Better do it.
Because she was a TT, a TikTok character.
She was originally. She didn't last. She didn't last for long because it all kind of fell through.
Which is the thing is though, it's interesting because a lot of stuff on TikTok ends up being like a TikTok OCs, at least in my experience, seem to end up taking on a life like the doppelganger master that I created for TikTok. You know, because he sort of existed before, but then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do more with him.
Yeah.
And he actually is appearing in things now.
What's like My Dear Pip?
Oh, yeah,
My Dear Pip stuff that all started on
TikTok,
and now I love playing Pip. Oh my god, Chambers is right. There's 4 episodes in the first season, and he's nearly finished episode 2. Oh my god, Pip is so much fun to play. Oh, she's a different level of evil. It's like I play the Rani. She's in Future Doctor. Because she started off on TikTok, my Rani, because we done Spa Rani. She's kind of got like a Nicola Bryant really bad American accent,
which is the best kind of accent to have.
But she's so much fun. But her level of evil compared to Pip Goodwill's level of evil are two completely like.
Well, it's you know, like this is one of those things where these characters are interesting to explore, and TikTok can be an interesting way of hashing out like what's the word I'm looking for? An interesting way of hashing out character.
Yeah.
Like for example, the doppelganger master does in fact unbutton his shirt slightly more than I ever intended originally, because why the fuck not? Or my wife and I have been developing her OC, the dissident. So we have an entire backstory and spin-off series planned for that character on Man at Desk at some point, you know, when that finally fucking happens. You know, it's an interesting field to play around with this stuff and explore this stuff.
Well, it's just because obviously within because we've got Chronicle Doctor getting worked on as well. So in order,
which one's
David Bingham. So TT Doctor wise, it goes Chronicle, Queer, Me, Future.
Okay, so is that actually like a sequence? Are you guys in the same universe in sequence?
Yeah. because
Interesting.
Matt's doctor, so future doctor, has like really bad memory issues and he always forgets things and he gets a little bit confused every now and then, and that's purely because, without giving spoilers away, how my doctor regenerates. So
God damn it!
yeah, you have
God
to
damn it,
listen and
Dickensian.
wait. I say they're all written, they're all done. It's just a matter of I want to do it when the first season of My Dear Pip is gone.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's going to be me on two things and I don't, you know.
Yeah.
As much as Chelsea's face is everywhere, it's like, it's like
That's fair.
yeah.
I mean, it should be interesting to be fair. I mean, God, it's just sort of reminding me of all the shit that I still have. Oh God, shall I read off?
Honestly, I say this every single time I come on here, but my list is opposite me. So obviously, I've just R101's done. That's out next week. Molly 2's getting worked on this week, and then we've got Tusks 2 that's getting done in November. Then we've got Ali Tori's audio Shutter.
The film that became an audio series.
Yeah,
which should be very interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good script, and I really hope she makes it a series. And then in January, all the Pat Gang's back, and then we got Luna, and then we got more Tasks, then we got Match Girls, and it just goes on and on and on and on. And on.
So, blimey, I have 2 more episodes of Nexus Point to get done, which is going to be interesting because they're either going to be longer than I expect or shorter than I expect, and I can't tell which. And there's just so much Doctor stuff to interact with. Then there's at some point I have to film more stuff for Nth Doctor Series 2. And then there's an audio with Matt Mills and George Gydra for December. And I've got Star Trek Venture to do.
So yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I got like the 3 shorts. You did the first one. The third one is all me. Second one, I still need to chase a couple of things for that. But like, there's 3 shorts that start coming out in April, and then there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. So right now, in terms of like actual release dates and stuff, I've got Tales of the Nexus Doctors pegged for 2024. So that's
literally
gonna be...
my schedule goes up to about 2020, end of 2025. It's a bit crazy.
I mean, I've got stuff scheduled for them, but like the thing is, my stuff ends up hopping all over the place. So in theory, I'm going to stop, like actually stop, just stop doing things, like retire from fan creation.
Oh my God, no.
2026. That's the theory. In practice, I might get fucking sick of it before then and just quit sooner because, like, I've been doing this too long. I need to fucking stop.
This is one reason, because I can't remember the last time I wrote Who. Like actual Doctor Who. Last time I wrote actual Doctor Who was nearly a year ago, and it was an 8th Doctor and Charlie audio called Edge of Yesterday. And that was the last time I wrote full on proper Doctor Who.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is it though, is that I love it. But I mean, the thing is, like, because Matt Mills now, and I hope he won't mind me saying this, but Matt Mills isn't doing his stuff on Man at Desk anymore. He's the majority of his Doctors moving over to his own channel.
Okay.
I think purely because he was worried about messing with scheduling and stuff, and you know how it is. And to be fair, his stuff is really cool. I'm really looking forward to that coming out.
I'm in some of it. I'm well excited
because I'm still doing the music for it as well. So
I'm well excited for that.
You're gonna be Jenny in some of that as well.
That's what I mean. It's the first time. What, other than Venus? It's the first time that I've done Jenny off of TT. So it's quite nice.
So we're establishing. So we've established that TT
Abby is the only Jenny. Hello.
No. So we've got Tom Holland Abby, which is the TT one. We've got Toby Maguire, which is the Venus one, And we've got now Andrew Garfield, which is the Matt one. So yeah, we've got the three Jennies.
The
We're gonna
three
no way
Jennies.
home these
Oh
Jennies.
my god!
No way
I
home,
want it to
Jenny!
happen. I want it to happen, man. That'd be funny.
God. Just ask Matt, and he'll just do it. Like
No way
Matt
home,
Mills
Jenny.
will do anything. Just three Jennies versus a bunch of Doctor Who villains by fighting them with swords. But yeah, so I've got. But the thing is, like, if I look at my docket, I've got some stuff that Matt wrote, but increasingly a lot of this stuff is like stuff that is just more stuff that I've written, and it's like it is in a way like one of the reasons why I'm wanting to shop other people writing stuff. It's why I want other people. So I guess this is the first time I'm going to publicly say it. So my Doctor is having basically an arc called The Doctor's Missions, where the Time Lords send him into the multiverse to do stuff and things. And I'm basically shopping it around to every fan creator I can think of and saying, if you want to write an episode of your series with my Doctor as a guest character that then goes out on my channel first and on your channel like a month afterwards or something, yeah, that's what I'm pitching, basically, in which my Doctor can just be like a guest character in your story. And it's,
coming soon, Paternoster Gang.
and I don't, whatever. Like the thing is, like, it's designed basically to sort of emphasize, because the thing is, the big things that I want to emphasize in terms of like the serving my arc, I guess, is it's a multiverse arc. So he's going out into the multiverse. The minute he goes out there, he splinters into like a billion parallel versions of
himself. It's going to end up on all these different channels, yeah.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, like, because I don't give a shit about spoilers, I can just say this. Some of them will die. Like, I'm saying to people, if you have to kill me, kill me.
Oh,
fucking kill me! And then my last story, whenever the fuck I get around to actually doing that, is just an army of me versus the final big bad. And all of me fucking die.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a great way to get rid of your self-loathing issues. Why kill yourself once when you can kill yourself a billion more times?
I've already killed myself. So...
No, that's a morbid way of saying that.
Like Jenny, like, oh Lord, don't. The amount of stuff that I get killed off, that's really ridiculous. Although Aidan O'Connor seems to be the one I kill off the most at the moment.
How many times have you killed off Aidan now?
3 times. And he's only been with TT for... When did we do Molly 1? End of September, beginning of September.
Oh my god! You killed Aidan! You bastards!
Oh, literally, he was in Last of Us. That's not right. That's run by another man. That's run by Mart. That's quite nice, that series, because I just come in, voice, and run away. But yeah, Aidan was in it, and he was in it, and then I shot him, and then he died.
Oh my god, you killed Aidan, you bastard.
Oh, right. On that note, anything else you want to talk about with TT in mind?
Oh, oh god, with TT in mind. To be honest, like there's a heck of a lot of stuff, in terms of Luna and stuff. But to be honest, a lot of the fun for me working with TT is in just being a composer. Like, for me, in a way, that's the most fun part. Like, just composing stuff without having to worry about like necessarily editing and stuff. Because I don't like. It's weird. I talk about the fact that I compose a lot. I don't compose a lot. Like, I don't compose a lot for other people. So like if I had to, so hang on a second. It's going to sound like I compose for a lot of people, but what we've got to consider is that most of the people I'm about to list off, I started composing for between 1 month ago, between like 2 or 3 months ago and the last couple of years. So there's myself, obviously. There's, I probably can say this, there's a series called Classic Series Reconstructed, which is a couple of people in America recreating classic Doctor Who. The Tom Baker era. So it's like a guy doing a Tom Baker impression with a really fucking good costume. But they proper high budget, like, looking stuff as well from what I've seen. So I did, and that was the fucking hardest thing I've ever had to compose for, I might add. Because the thing is, like, there's no in-between really with the composition work I've done. most of the composition work I've done, people are like, this is the thing, do music for it. And I've gone and I've done the music for it. And they've been like, yes,
music.
Yeah, it's music and we like it. And you know, I'm not complaining, but it's not like there's been any in-depth musical critique where they're like, you know, actually, I want this and this, and I think that this can be a bit more this. Like the most I've had is Connor Chadwick asked me to put a bit more bass line into a theme I did for his Meddling Monk series that he's got coming up.
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
Of course, yeah.
That's the most
more bass.
Yeah, that's the most critique I've gotten from most people I've composed for. But Classic Series Reconstructed asked me, yeah, recreate Dudley Simpson. Okay, I'm going to listen to a bunch of Dudley Simpson stuff and try and get a feel for it. How's this? It's too much. Okay, pulling some out. No, it's not like too much in terms of the amount of soundtrack, although there was too much soundtrack because they were trying to recreate the classic series where they didn't orchestrate every single thing. But like my instinct is more instruments, better instruments, you know, depth and scope, you know, like recreating that level of scope. Whereas the instinct, the classic era, obviously, you had like fucking clarinet quartet Dalek themes, which by the way are fucking legendary, you know, stuff like that. So I had to shrink it in scope and pull back on stuff and use specific instruments. So that, in a very real sense, it was really difficult, but really fucking hilariously fun as well, because I was recreating a specific style. It's really difficult to get right. And hopefully that'll come out soon or at some point, because I did the soundtrack for it. It's all edited as far as I'm aware. So once they've got the second episode of that done, and once I've done the soundtrack for that, hopefully that comes out soon, because I'm really looking forward to that. So I did work for myself for them. George Guidra I'm doing stuff for. So obviously, you know, the minute I got talking to George and we started collaborating on stuff, I was like, I'll do your music. And he was like, yes. So I've done a metric ton for him. Which incidentally is sort of where, because I've realized that I've done a lot of Whoniverse stuff, not necessarily just Doctor Who, but Whoniverse in general. I found that I've got to the point, compositionally speaking, especially since most people aren't very, they don't want a specific thing, if that makes sense. Nobody's turning around to me and going, I want Murray Gold, I want Dudley Simpson. Like Classic Series Reconstructed is in that respect the outlier, because nobody's turning around to me and saying that they want a specific style. So what I've got actually, in terms of like, I've got a library of leitmotifs, a library of themes that I will constantly refer back to when I'm doing composition now. So I have a universal The Master theme, which I've used for Rasson Productions and I've used for myself.
Yeah.
So it was in the Nexus Point for obvious reasons, because the fucking Master's in it. I mean, they're not. It's not even a spoiler though, because the thing is, like, anyone listening to how these characters interact, especially like Josh Griggs as the operative, or anyone listening to how he is with the doctors, and then listening to how the doctors are with him, where they're just like, shut up. It's fucking clear who he is. And then there's the prisoner, as played by the fucking amazing Rita Book. Like she's amazing. But the prisoner is so clearly and obviously the Master that it's not even funny. But yeah, so like they have individual Master themes, Rita's character more than Josh's, but there is the universal Master theme that I use all the time, which I based a lot on the sort of tone of the Masterful theme, because that theme is fucking awesome and I think it fits. So there's that. I have a universal heroism theme, which I use sort of all over the place, which is like my favorite of my themes, because it's like the universal, this is the doctors getting together and doing heroic things, you know, getting their shit together and off being heroic. And then I have a universal the doctors doing stuff together theme. So whenever I do multi-doctor stuff, I have a theme which is, it's not even necessarily when I do multi-doctor stuff, it's just, here are the doctors doing clever things that aren't necessarily heroic, but they are doctory and clever.
Yeah.
So that theme I keep reusing pretty much everywhere when the doctors are doing something that's like, you know, doctors thinking. Thinking. So, you know, like if, for example, I'm not saying you have to, but if I were to do Dickensian for you, I would probably pull out that theme and render it in instrumentation appropriate to the tone that you're going for.
Steampunk.
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 Steam pancakes.
Yum. Sizzle,
Yeah,
sizzle.
so but like that's the thing where I would probably like render it in those kind of instruments, but the motif would be the same. I'm sorry, I'm messing with my volume control for some reason. Yeah, sorry,
You're fine. Good.
It's good. It's fine.
Don't touch it.
Don't stop touching things. But so like I've got a bunch of these universal themes that I just keep sort of reaching for now, because it's not laziness per se, but it's like in a weird way, it's like I'm gonna hate myself for using this example. I actually hate myself for using this example. So when Danny Elfman did Justice League, and I fucking hate the soundtrack for Justice League, because when he did it, I found it to be a bit lazy and arrogant that he was like, I'm going to use my theme for Batman because it's the only Batman theme. But like the thing is, I've got a master theme. I've got the Doctor's doing heroic stuff theme. I've got the Doctor's, and it's not like I ever just throw a track that I used somewhere else at people. I never do that. But if I've got a motif that works for that tone, and it's all Doctor Who, and it's all in the Whoniverse, and it all fits together just nicely, then why do I have to, like, I can remix it, I can fuck about with it, I can make it fit whatever voices and sounds that I'm using. So why the fuck should I, like, recreate the wheel? To a certain degree, because I'm not proliferant as far as fan composers go in terms of the number of like different people I've worked with. Although, so on top of George, I'm doing stuff for Aidan's Burgundy Doctor. I'm doing stuff for Eamon Longman's Kiwi Doctor. I've done stuff for Overton Audios, so that includes like stuff for different characters that are appearing in that. So I've done that stuff. I don't think it's a fucking secret that when George's Blonde Doctor stuff happens, I'm doing that.
Well,
so I did I did a theme for that because obviously he needed a theme, and it was fucking I'm not gonna let my boy take his most popular Doctor and then not get a bespoke theme by yours truly. True. It's not gonna fucking happen. No. All right. He is my only fan, and I treat him right. But so obviously I'm off doing that. I think I can say without getting in shit that I'm doing music for Dominic Greenwood Martin's stuff for Remnants.
Yeah.
So I think I can say that without getting in shit. If I'm not allowed to say that, Tom, I'm sorry. I don't treat this stuff as a secret generally, but if you wanted that to be kept that a secret, I'm so sorry. It's fine. I apologize. But joking aside, because Tom's not gonna be pissed off. He's a lovely bloke. But joking aside, like that was really fun because can I say
spoilers?
This?
Spoilers.
well, okay. So I wrote an episode. I wrote an episode for him, which I am also in. Mm-hmm. And I fucking loved that episode. I fucking loved recording that episode. I'm excited to hear that episode when it comes together. Hilariously, Chelsea is in that episode.
I know, yeah.
Hilariously, I've seen the cover of it where she's in a Photoshop Star Trek uniform, but she's also like doing an audition for me at some point for my Star Trek series.
Star Trek, yeah.
Which, funnily enough, you auditioned for every character except for the one that I sort of had in mind for her, having thought about it. It's kind of like
yes, yeah. I thought that was for a reason.
Oh really?
I read the synopsis for it and I was like, no, that's a Chelsea role. I'll go do the other ones.
You see it too, then you see what I'm talking about, right? Oh god. So yeah, but no. So I'm doing the music for that. I also did. I'm not sure if he's going to use it. I hope he does because he liked it. He said he liked it, and it's something I'm quite proud of. So he used for series 1 and for the stuff he's done for Rassilon Productions a synth track. I can't remember for the fucking life of me what its name is. I've got it on my Apple Music. Give me 2 seconds, I'll find it. But he used this. It's not a stock synth track in the sense of being any old stock music that you find. I think it's something like an album. It's like from an album from some synth band or something, and it was really good. It's a really good piece of music. But obviously, I was like, my attitude to it is it's called Particle Emission by Silver Maple. Gorgeous track. But I was like, okay. If I was doing something that has the tone of this, but is an original composition, what would I do? So I did that, and I sent him that. He really fucking loves it, and I'm hoping to God he decides to use it instead of Particle Emission because he's Dominic Greenwood Martin. Yeah. No, like the man, Remnants is fucking awesome. The man deserves original soundtrack.
Yeah, true.
So I'm going to deliver. But what was I saying before I went on that tangent? No, because like I'm not the most proliferate in terms of people I've worked with, because I've worked with a fair few people now, but the majority of my composing career, I suppose you'd call it, I've worked for me. So but in terms of pure amounts of music I've done probably the most. Like I don't want to sound braggy here, but I've probably done the most music out of any composer working in fan creative spheres.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down, definitely.
And like that's not to say I'm the best, because like for example, I think Anthony Tremaine is probably better than me.
He's really fucking good. Like I'm not saying that he's better than you. I'm just like he is very good.
He is, and like Hudson Music, really good. Like his stuff was really good. Is he still doing music? Actually,
I don't know.
God bless him, because he was doing that audio play, which was gonna be interesting. I think that was gonna be interesting, but obviously he had to step away from that, which is fair. And this is a thing. The fact that it was affecting his mental health, that he was stressing about it. All right, no fan creation is worth that.
No, definitely not.
No, and the thing is.
But then you've got the newcomers as well, because Jim, like.
Yeah, no, Jim is a really good composer as well. Like proper...
he hasn't got. He's just he's just made it up as he's gone along, and he just happens to be making it up as he goes along well. But yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap up.
Oh no, we've got to stop talking.
We've got to stop talking, Jed.
You know what? It's because I never stop talking. I never stop talking. I could sit here for like 4 hours and keep on talking, and nobody can stop me.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for putting up with me.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who I have on next. Let me just get my little list.
Get me a little list up.
She's got a little list, ladies and gentlemen.
Razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz? What, Rassilon P?
Yeah.
Rassilon P. God bless Rory. God bless Rory.
We love a bit of Rory. So thank you for joining me. Bye.
Thank you for having me.